Okay, so I think we have everything settled. Sorry, everyone, I'm late. Again, technical difficulties, but we are here, or at least I should be here. So if anyone is in the chat or if anyone can see me, please let me know. But yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining the live show, or for anyone who's going to watch the past live stream. My name is Jan Sports. I am one half of Buffalo Fan Base Sports, which you can check out on Tuesdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central Time, and of course, I think it's around, it's around 4 o'clock in the West Coast if you're a part of that. But yeah, guys, want to thank you guys so much for stopping by the live stream, or anyone who's going to watch past the live stream. As usual, for me, I'm going to try out the studio link as well. So if anybody wants to join in and have a discussion, you guys are more than welcome to do it. I'm going to try to do this only because, for the most part, because I'm working with Buffalo Fan Base Sports, I share a studio with them. So I'll try and see if it works. Hopefully I can trust you guys in order for you to do it. So, but today's discussion, I want to continue to talk about NIL, Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, kind of give you my thoughts about that instead of just kind of having a bunch of videos kind of laid out about that. We'll also talk about SEC discussions because, of course, we got SEC Media Days and just college football media days in general, which will be happening in around July. So around the late June, July period, we'll have SEC Media Days. And then, of course, we'll have, a whole bunch of other stuff, which is going to, happen down. So, again, if you guys want to talk about college football preview, scheduling, we can you're more than welcome to do that. But just to kind of give you my thoughts about NIL, at least for a couple of days ago in our show with me and Kari Damos, Kari gave his thoughts. He's a former Division I athlete. He played for the University of Buffalo. And again, for the most part, we had a great discussion. There was a lot of fans, a lot of Bama fans, definitely in the chat that kind of disagreed with him in his take. About the fact that, Nick Saban is kind of a hypocrite for, pretty much saying that, these kids don't deserve to be paid, that, these kids, that there's pretty much should be any sort of restriction on it. And the fact that Nick Saban also paid Bryce Young millions, and Will Anderson also had a 1.3 million NIL deal. Nick Saban is kind of a hypocrite on that. That's, so that was kind of his thoughts about it. We had a great discussion. So if you guys want to check out that video, I will post that in the link below the description, probably after when the live stream is over. But just to give you guys my thoughts about it, I did think, again, I talked about it before. I did think he was out of pocket a little bit. Definitely thought he was out of pocket during his comments about Jackson State. Again, I made a video talking about the Jackson State that had a lot of flack. That video had a lot of flack, and I kind of think about it, and I'm like, what, I do kind of get a lot of flack. I had a lot of people kind of hit me up because I have some people that go to Jackson State or went to the Jackson State. And they just kind of talked about their situation, the fact that they can't even afford to really pay a player $1 million. They can barely afford to work on their athletic facilities, renovations, kind of where they hold their meetings at. I mean, it's not tip top shape. I'm not going to sit up here and say that they're a poor school, but as far as competing with the likes of Alabama, A&M, Florida, a lot of these Division I, Power Five conferences, Jackson State's financial situation it's nowhere near the state of some of these schools in the Power Five. So you got that kind of going on there a little bit there as well. But so again, I did think he was left field. I did think he was left field about the Jackson State, even though I know exactly what he was trying to do, right? For the most part, he was just using Jackson State as an example of the direction that we're going in of NIL. Nick Saban, he's the type of guy, he's not ignorant. He's not ignorant, right? He's not going to say anything unless there's some intention behind it, right? For the most part, whenever Nick Saban predicts about something that is going to happen, he gets a lot of flack because he's called a hater, that he doesn't support college football. He doesn't support these kids. There's times where he's called a racist because of his comments. There's times where, how many times have we heard the fact that he can't keep up with the times? He can't adapt. He's afraid to adapt. And then all of a sudden, Nick Saban does adapt to the situation. and he becomes the best. And all of a sudden, everyone wants Nick Saban to retire. Nick Saban's dominating college football. And, people will sit up here and say that, Nick Saban doesn't, you know, Nick Saban's not that dude. But I mean, let's be honest here, guys. I mean, Nick Saban warned college football. He warned everyone about what was going to happen. No one, we didn't listen. No one wanted to listen. And now look at the position. Bama and a lot of these other Power 5 conferences are dominating. So the fact that, again, just talking about NIL, the fact that we are in a position where we could talk about NIL, we can talk about, Nick Saban's comments. But let's be honest here. Texas A&M will dominate. They already have shown the fact that they're dominating based off of their location, based off of their state. But, Texas will continue to get 5-star recruits. I don't think they're, it's going to be interesting to watch that Texas A&M and Texas, battle. But obviously A&M is an extremely rich university. The University of Texas is also extremely good as well. But we got to look at the fact that, A&M is going to be a rise. USC is definitely going to benefit based off of their location, based off their name brand, their head coach is, and how they're able to attract star power with the fact that they have a crap ton of rich boosters. So USC will be a power in the next in most likely the next 5 years. I think that if we talk about in-state, I think LSU, as far as in-state talent, I think LSU will definitely help them build the state around that state and keep players in state. Because again, LSU, they're one of those states, they don't have to go out state. They have some of the best talent already there. So this will help programs like that continue to thrive and continue to dominate as far as the recruiting and continue to attract star power. So there's going to be some schools that are going to be on the rise, but there's going to be other schools that are not going to adapt to it. I think Alabama's going to be one of those schools that no matter what the situation is, as long as Nick Saban is there, he's going to adapt to the situation. He may not like the direction that we're going on, which of course that's where he's going to get his flack from. But let's be honest, he's going to adapt to NIL. He's going to adapt to the situation. And, unfortunately, we are going down a path where, we are going down a path where NIL is going to be a major, major recruiting pitch. It's going to be a major, major recruiting pitch. It's no longer you go in a kid's house and you try to convince them that, hey, this is the right school for you. We have this many, we've had this many 5-stars come here. We've had this many first-round picks. And, obviously the typical recruiting pitches also throw in the fact that, again, there's, let's be honest, there's college football. There's always been a little bit of money that's been involved. It's always been a little bit of money that's been involved in the equation. And some schools and some schools have tried to do that. They've gotten caught and they've received consequences. And some schools have kind of bended the edge, right? They've kind of they've kind of in a way bended the rules, right? In a way, right? To a fact that maybe they're not breaking it, but maybe it's borderline level. And they've gone away with it. And who knows? Maybe you can throw Alabama in the discussion. Some of the best universities, Clemson, you can throw them in the discussion. There's a whole bunch of schools you can throw purely, throw in the discussion there as well, as far as schools that continue to be some relevancy, right? It's college football, right? Kids are going to want to get paid, and now that it's legal, now that we've seen everything so far, there's going to be a lot of things, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be a lot of things as far as NIL that's going to happen until the NCAA and eventually eventually other people start to step in and put restrictions. I do think we're going to get restrictions, like it or not. It's going to happen at some point because according to the SEC commissioner and Bishop, and I think his name is Bishop Sankey, but no, I think I might have got that wrong. But Sankey pretty much said that, listen, a lot of these NIL deals have not even they're not even part of the NIL rules and stipulations, right? It's been outside of the rules that these mega boosters are paying these kids, which are not technically legal. That's coming from Sankey. So if recruits are getting paid outside of the NIL rules in the landscape that's going on there, then I'm telling you, eventually in 2 to 3 years' time, there's going to be something. There's going to be restrictions that are going to be in place. That, and unfortunately, that's probably going to have to be the case. Now, I don't know what that is, but I do think it's going to happen sooner or later, unfortunately, because let's be honest, I played high school sports. I played for a community college for about a year. And even then, even playing for a community college in football, right, there were certain things that you couldn't do. you couldn't really work. At least for my school, like you couldn't really work. It was just school football. It was work, and it was football. It was school, and that was pretty much just about it. There were certain stipulations that were put in place. So it's going to be very interesting. But this is what I'll do, guys. I'll put the StreamYard in the link. So if you guys want to chat it up, if you guys want to, continue to, have some conversations, we can do that. We can definitely do that if you guys want to. I'll be on for maybe till like around 6 o'clock. I do believe that what my boy Ty from Around the Talk Sports, phenomenal YouTuber. Definitely check him out if you guys haven't had the opportunity. He is going to be live streaming today. At least that's what we kind of that's what he told me. But again, everything could change. So if he doesn't live stream today, I'll be fine. But normally he streams around 5:30. So I'll probably be on that show if he does the live. So yeah, I just posted up the little description. So yeah, if you guys want to join the live chat, talk it up, or if you want to talk about college football previews and stuff like that, go ahead. But until then, we'll continue to go talk about our discussion. And I really want to dive into Jimbo Fisher, right? Really want to dive into him because Jimbo Fisher went off on Nick Saban, saying that, listen, he's a narcissist, he's a hypocrite. Someone should slap Nick Saban for his, that he has a God complex. All these very interesting things that, listen, you rarely ever hear anyone, whether if it's in the media, whether if it's former coaches or players, ever talk crap about Nick Saban. Right. The only other person that I can remember that has kind of pushed back, as far as flack on Nick Saban was Paul Feinbaum. But that's because Paul Feinbaum, he's been covering Alabama and Alabama sports for decades. He's been covering it for decades. So he's comfortable around the scene. He's a known commodity in college football. And he's a guy that personally, very similar to Saban, he's not afraid to say what he's going to think, whether if he's going to get a lot of flack from it, whether if he looks stupid or not, he's going to say how he feels. So that's probably the only other person that I can remember that has pushed back against Saban. Besides that, though, Nick Saban has been known to be the, quote unquote bully of college football. And boy, it's very interesting. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Lane Kiffin, he's been known to troll Nick Saban. He's been known to troll, but as far as, talking crap about Nick Saban, not known for that, but he's known to troll. Hell, he's even trolling right now, bro. I mean, Lane Kiffin is a very, very fine commodity inside of college football. But, man, oh man, guys. I mean, one of the things that's just very, very interesting about this conversation is the fact that, again, Jimbo Fisher he went in. And in my opinion, I can understand exactly why he did it. I'm not happy that he did it, of course, as an Alabama fan, because, I made a video kind of defending my coach. Did he look childish at times? Yeah, absolutely. He did look a little childish. Let's be honest. He did throw he threw a temper tantrum. Let's be honest here. And I do think that he did look a little guilty because this was all about if you paid players or not. Now, if I was Jimbo Fisher, regardless if he's paying players or not, who gives a fuck, right? Who cares? It's legal. It's a part of the recruiting pitch. It is what it is, bro. But we do got one person coming on the show. What's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's up, Jay?
What's going on, Levante? What's going on, brother?
Hey, my name is Levante. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. And I just want to introduce myself, that's it. But hey, by the way, I'm a Patriots fan, by the way. And congrats to your team, Buffalo Bills. He's always much respect for the Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, man.
The same division. We've been dominating for the past 20 years. How the way y'all be doing this in the playoff? That's what we've been doing for the past 20-some years. So congrats to y'all boys, man. I hope Buffalo Bills have a bright, great future. But, yeah, I just want to get to the Nick Saban thing, man. I saw a little video you were talking about Nick Saban for the past Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban for the past few days. But I'm also a Bama fan too, by the way. It's Roll Tide. But I always feel like, man, to me, he had to snitch on Jimbo Fisher, man. When you think about it, no doubt Nick Saban the GOAT of college football, probably a GOAT period when it comes to sports in general, but he ain't had to do that to Deion Sanders, Jimbo Fisher. Why? Because majority of the guys that Nick Saban and one of these guys recruited from Hawaii, New York, California, think about it. How in the hell will you leave California or Hawaii to go to Alabama in general? See what I'm saying? So somehow, every dynasty or every great coach legend at least had to pay someone or coaches, let's go for Bud Bryant too. I'm pretty sure every great coaches or someone that worked with the coaches paid somebody to at least go to their school somehow. We just don't know what type of what NHL or whatever type of rule is. Is it illegal? I mean, probably yeah, but it's not because Nick Saban the GOAT. That's why he never got caught. Because for the past few years they always say, why the hell y'all get all this recruiting up? But to me, he's doing the same thing too. We just don't know about it. We just don't know too much details about it. Much I love Nick Saban, bro. Nick Saban got some egos too, man. I'm pretty sure you know that too. Nick Saban, just like you said the other day in your video. I mean, you real. You actually Nick Saban got some egos too. We don't know about. I mean, he really, really do. I'm pretty sure he do. Just like Jimbo Fisher, Deion Sanders.
Yeah, but it's like and I think he kind of did it because he wanted boost. Because boosters, you notice the boosters from Alabama, they were there, and I think that Nick Saban kind of did it because he really wanted to prove a point that, listen, if we don't catch up, here's A&M, and then here's a small school like Jackson State that's reportedly signed the number one recruit in the country. They got the number one recruit in the country, and they got him with $1 million no matter what. No, now again, I don't know where they got the money from, but like Nick Saban, he tried to use that to try to get boosters step it up, man. Like once this legislation bill passes in the state of Alabama, we gotta get the ball rolling here. We gotta catch up with times. We gotta adapt because otherwise, we're gonna get left behind.
Yeah, to be honest, he probably did that just to get Jimbo Fisher Harry. For the past few months, them trying to be going at it since you already know ever since Jimbo Fisher came to SEC, them trying to get, especially a year ago when Nick Saban beat the hell out of Jimbo Fisher the year Bama won champs when they made 13-0.
Oh yeah.
These
guys have had feuds for years though.
years.
These guys, I didn't even know these guys had a feud for decades, but
But now this is more deeper than that, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's just football, man. Either way, I feel like Nick said Jimmy Fisher can't make excuses about you either got to win or just don't. You either got to play football. That's the way I see it.
Yep. And I think I did think he was wrong going in that direction, just trying to use like I said, I get it because when it's recruiting, it's like what it is. Like recruiting is nasty. Like when you're trying to get these kids to come to your program, like you are going to do whatever it takes to try to outwit these universities. You're going to down these universities. You're going to use everything negative possible to try to get these kids to come to your program. So I think that this was just a huge recruiting. This could have been a huge recruiting tactic for Nick Saban, saying, listen, man, we got to catch up with the times. We're going to be left behind if something else is going to happen. I don't think Nick Saban is afraid of Jimbo Fisher and A&M because even with the whole NIL thing, guess what? I mean, we finished second. We were second in recruiting. For us. No, go ahead.
My bad. I'm so tight. But ain't no one finish second place. Just like Alabama finished run up. But ain't no one finish second place, man. You just got to realize at the end of the day, second place way better. If you don't get first place, second place way better than anything. Second, third, fourth place way better than them being at the bottom. So, like you said, second place is good at the end of the day either way. If you don't get it, at least be second. How Alabama lost his Jordan National championship. Well, Georgia finally did something for the past 40. They finally did something. But, I could tell you one prime example that, you probably Reggie Bush, you know what I'm saying? The guy that got the money, but they got caught. It's more to it than you know that Reggie Bush thing, when he played for USC, but he was getting paid from other companies, but he got caught. Yeah. It's more to it, got Heisman vacated.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of players from that there was a bunch of pro Ray I forgot Ray Malaga, I'm not gonna pronounce that last name, but Ray he used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. He even admitted that they gave him a little bit of money, right? They gave him a little bit of money. So it wasn't just Reggie Bush. There was a whole bunch of athletes from USC because again, these kids are being recruited from 30, 40 universities deep.
Yeah.
And USC it's a gold mine, man. I mean, you got rich boosters, you have great weather. A lot of these Southern California schools, they're like worst case scenario, they're like about an hour away from USC. But you had back then you had all these different type of advantages, that USC had. They were a huge brand name, they were a power. But the most important part was that they had money and they, the fact that Reggie Bush came from, you know, a poor community, and he was promised that, listen, man, if you come to our university, you'll get money. We'll promise that we'll get your family, and we'll move them to like at least a suburban home, so they'll have a nice home, and they'll have other opportunities for schooling or whatever you need, or other essentials. We'll have you. And Reggie Bush is not the only athlete. I mean, there's tons of athletes.
Oh yeah, I know.
That have
Oh
done
yeah,
it.
I
He just
know.
got caught. It was just a big
Yeah,
name
I
who
know.
got caught, and
He
they
just
took his
got
ID.
caught. Like it's low. Like I said, it's over like 1,000, like over millions of athletes. They probably did it, but like to me,
Yeah,
NHL
bro.
or whatever rule, we don't know what type of rules they have these days, bro. At this point, like you said, just watch football, but like you know, he just got caught. To me, he just got caught for no reason, man.
Mm-hmm.
To try to help his family. I'm pretty sure you watched the USC documentary that came out like in. I
Yeah,
think it came out like in,
I watched the
yeah, I think it came
documentary.
out like in 2015, 2017, something like
Yep.
that. It was like US documentary how that dynasty, you know, how how that dynasty was to the top in the early 2000s through 2008. But to me, in my opinion, matter of fact, before I said, you remember the video and documentary how they were saying like Pete Carroll left the how he left USC during the Reggie Bush scandal and all that.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, man, I really feel like the only reason why I talk about Reggie Bush because it's way like similar to like the fact that Jimbo Fisher is also getting in trouble too. But it's way similar. It's same but kind of similar, but this time Reggie Bush got caught. But like I would feel like if that Reggie Bush thing would never happen, I think Jimbo Fisher would stay at USC. I think USC would have been more advanced because that time his recruiting went down too. You know.
Yep.
And then the
Yeah.
crazy
And
part is Bama rose up to the top at that time too.
yep. And I think one of the things that we never talked about was the fact that Alabama was. I mean, we were 7-6. Like we had a big big down point in our. I mean, there were times we lost like 6 straight games to Auburn. We
Yeah.
had players leave the program willingly. I mean, it was a bad time. We had different coaches with Franchione and
Yeah.
Mike Shula. I mean, we went through all these
Man,
bad
that
coaches, and
was
all of a sudden we
bad.
have Nick Saban. Even in Nick Saban's first year, we went 7-6. We lost to ULM Monroe, and then the next year we went from having like a top 20, like top 30 recruiting class, to then all of a sudden we had a top 5 recruiting class. Well, how do we get those? How do we get all those recruits?
Yeah.
How do we get Julio Jones? How do we get Mark Ingram from
Yeah.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
There was a foundation that was laid. I'm not saying Nick
Yeah.
Saban did it every year, but there was something that was going
Yeah,
on
that was
to
something
get
because
recruits come to the University of Alabama. There was
yeah.
something that was going on, and like I said, it's nothing. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that
Oh
because
yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no
yeah,
doubt.
Bobby Bowden has been
Oh
doing it
yeah.
for decades. He's one of the greatest. Joe Paterno's been doing it for decades. I mean, every coach in college football has done something to
Yeah.
bend the rules in order for them to get recruits to come to the
Yeah.
University of Alabama. Now, when they get there, Nick Saban knows how to keep those kids. He knows how to keep those kids. That's where you start to see. And I'm not saying every recruit, right? I think it's some recruits here and there. I don't think it's every recruit that comes to University of Alabama, but there has been something been going on as far as bending the rules, and for the most part, I think it's just now come to light. It's legal. It's all fair is love and war, and I think Nick Saban knows that, and I think he knows that his boosters have got to step the boot. Like it's not just on him anymore. Like they got to step up now. They got to step up to the plate as and they got to try to make some things work.
Yeah.
These endorsement deals, these companies, they got to step up and help the University of Alabama out, because otherwise we're going to have a situation like we're going to have a situation where Texas, when they join the SEC, their brand name quadruples to what it is right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be a big power in
Yeah.
name as soon as them in Oklahoma join the SEC.
Oh hell yeah.
So we got to catch up with the times. We got to compete, and I think Nick Saban knows that.
Yeah. My man today, I watched the video the other day, right? It was about I got this news from you, but you was talking about how the SC commissioner won't SC they own that championship playoff, right?
Yeah, they want to separate. They're thinking about potentially separating themselves to go to the SEC.
That would be cool, but like for the past since about 08, 07, you could say but maybe 10 out of 14 or 11 or 14. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's been time where you have 2 top 10 or 2 top 14 in the SEC championship, and that shit feel like a national championship most of the years. Like when you watch the SEC championship game, it feel like a national championship game. Even in the regular season, when Bama faced LSU in 2011, regular season when LSU beat Bama and LSU beat Bama again in 2018, that felt like a national championship game. It's certain games in regular this in general, this certain game in regular season you face top team, the atmosphere, the fans, all that, the hype to it, it's gonna feel like a national championship. But like that right there, that would be crazy. A SC playoff game. That would be crazy if that
And
happens.
they got the power to do it. They got the power to do it because again, Oklahoma and Texas join the SEC. That's going to increase their star power. And now
Yeah.
you have all these, and again, like it's a big possibility that all these other schools from the South or maybe even from the North could potentially join the SEC. I mean, we did it back in the NCAA games, but it's a big possibility that we could have a super league where the SEC just has that much power. They have that much demand. They have their own broadcasting network in CBS. They have the best talent. That's not going to stop if the SEC separates themselves. Like these conferences have so much power than the actual NCAA board. It's insane. So I think that is kind of scary, the fact that they could separate.
Yeah, it's super scary.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's other team that's from the South that's not in the SC, but used to be in the SC. I know Georgia Tech used to be in the SC. I know Clemson. I think Clemson used to be in the SC. I know Florida State. I think Florida State used to be in the SC. I believe so. I'm gonna do my research later on, but I believe but basically they're all from the South that I name. But like if that happens, you know, it'll be very very scary, very very scary to watch the SEC game. It'll be very very scary. It'll be
Yeah,
very
man.
very scary.
What's up, Brock, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
All right.
What's up, man?
I already know, man. You gotta, because we're Bama fans, man. I gotta learn your feedback. I gotta hear your feedback about this, man.
Well, about the NIL and Texas A&M and stuff, I don't think Nick Saban was in the wrong with that, but Deion Sanders, he's doing his thing over there. I disagree with Saban on that part.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think, man, it's just it's like, again, I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to use him as an example, but I did think he was a little wrong on that.
He wanted to learn from the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The best cornerback.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Hey, ain't no wrong going to learn to get
Texas A&M. They're gonna they're gonna reap what they.
Oh yeah, I mean, boy, and you already know, man. Nick Saban, he takes what everything that's being said about him to heart. He takes that. He takes that stuff to heart. So he's gonna remember what Jimbo Fisher said about. He's gonna remember it because obviously Nick Saban, he tried. I mean, again, he apologized. He tried to do his own thing about it, but he's gonna remember what Jimbo Fisher said about it, and he's gonna use that to his advantage. I mean, if you can give him and the University of Alabama momentum, that is going to be absolutely huge. For them. And again, the best thing I think about it was that the former players came out, right? Bo Scarborough, he came out, and I think he came on Touchdown Alabama magazine and said, "Listen, man, Nick Saban is a teacher. He's a motivator. He doesn't really pay players. He doesn't really pay that. He doesn't really pay the players that much."
Right. He said they never pay for a player.
So they never pay for it.
Never. No.
Yep. No matter how we feel.
I'm a big Bo fan. I've been a Bo fan ever since he came to Alabama. And I used to watch him run over many guys, man. And Bo is just awesome. I don't see how he's not in the NFL right now.
Who's your favorite team?
He's a Bama fan.
I'm a Bama fan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I don't see how Bo's not in the NFL yet. But I think he's gonna get picked up soon by somebody. Somebody gonna grab him.
Yeah, I think my boy Love. I think he made a good comment, man. Is the fact that Jackson State actually got more clout from this. They actually got more from Nick Saban talking about them because Deion Sanders, he's using this as an advantage. The fact that they're scared that black players that Nick Saban's afraid that a lot of the top black players are going to go to Jackson State, which I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that they're all going to.
No,
you're going to see some players go to Jackson
Yeah.
State because they're not stupid. They're not as good as what I think Deion Sanders is going to do as far as building up an HBCU. At the end of the day, these kids know that the resources, the amount of stuff that they're going to get is going to help them get, is going to help them make millions. Because again, I mean, if what Deion Sanders said is true, that they can't afford if they can't afford to give these kids the amount of money that they want, why would now definitely you gave them a reason why for them not to go to Jackson State. If they're going to go to Jackson State, it's for them to build up their legacy, to build something, to create something there.
Right.
That's the only thing that Deion Sanders can offer them, right?
But why wouldn't we expect for Deion to get the high, like 4 and 5 stars? Because this man, he was like the true in the NFL. I mean, come on, hands down, like back in the day, the Cowboys was the shit, and that's still my team. But
yeah, it's like
I know you're a Bills fan, so.
I mean, it's what it is, man. It is what it is. No, but it's like for me, man. It's like you definitely gave these kids a reason not to go to Jackson State now, especially with NIL on the table. They're going to go to universities that can pay them, right? They're going to go to universities. I mean, a lot of these kids come from, they come from poor backgrounds where this is like life-changing money for them to be a provider for their families, because their parents couldn't really provide for them that much. They couldn't really afford to get new cleats, new equipment. Now that they have that money, I mean, they can pay for their parents' groceries, like everything that they were missing throughout their lives, they now have. So why would you not go to a university like Alabama or Texas A&M or Texas, where they're literally paying offensive linemen? They don't have to start. They can be a walk-on and they can get $50,000 easy.
Yeah,
$50,000 from just being there. Like that's life-changing money for some of these kids.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that in a way it gave them clout, but at the same time, for Jackson State, it's also not going to help their case of getting a lot of recruits because of that.
Yeah, I want to touch on what Bo Scarborough said in one of his videos. I don't know if y'all watched it, but they were asking him what was his favorite part, playing with Alabama, like his favorite, thing that Nick Saban, that stood out in his career or whatever. And I want to say, like, because Bo Scarborough, he brought this up. He was like, everybody used to hate on Alabama, and they still do, because Alabama is still going to be Alabama. But my thing is, he was like, people always saying that the dynasty's over every time Alabama lose a championship. But then they always bounce back and win a championship after that year. You know what I'm saying? So for people to just sit there and just assume, the dynasty's over, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand they want Nick Saban to retire, and us go downhill, and not have the team that we have right now and the program that we have. But for me, like, don't speak too soon. That's what I'm trying to tell, like, these college fans out here, like these other fan bases. They're always like me and Kangaroo Black, right? They all like all these Georgia fans just come on there. All they talk about, Saban's gonna retire. Saban's gonna retire. Oh, Alabama dynasty's over. Oh, y'all can't catch the football. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? Hey, we had a down year. We wasn't even supposed to make it to the national championship. We was the youngest team. Come on now, man. We didn't have Alabama wasn't. I watched all the games. Like, sometimes I go on YouTube and just type in, like, when Alabama played Tennessee, they had so many blown coverages. Tennessee would have never scored. That team was young. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at Alabama to be way better this year.
They're gonna be way better.
And defense.
Yeah. But my thing is with that, what got me, is that they didn't even have no O-line. That's the worst part about it.
Oh,
exactly.
And then you want to know something? Bryce Young suffered his punishment in that championship because, like, you already know it's no excuse. Nick Saban don't give excuses. either win, lose. Injury part of the game. But Bryce Young was having guys like he ain't had no choice to throw the ball to Jameson Williams and Mitchie because though he's been wide receiver, but when it came to a point that they got injured by sacrificing, you know, it was done deal in that shit. And don't get me wrong, the crazy thing is Bama still had a chance to win that championship. That was the crazy thing.
We was in the lead. We was in the lead. We had the game in our hands, and we didn't have all our players. We had backup players that haven't had play time.
Yeah.
And when they got ready to play, they was not ready to play. Nick Saban said that. He said we didn't have our corner. Our 5-star corner was out, Jalen Armour Davis, and then we didn't have our 2 wide receivers. They were gone. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Bryce Young didn't have nobody to throw to, really. But I'm telling you, if you go back and look at the highlights of that game where Bryce Young threw the ball on the money, you couldn't place the ball. The ball placement in that game that Bryce Young threw under pressure, man, you can't do it no better than that. I don't care I don't care what quarterback you is. You ain't gonna throw it no better than that.
And it's like
dropped it, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget too that this was a down year. Like if you look at our roster, this was one of the worst rosters Alabama had since 2008. Since Nick Saban, since Alabama first became a perennial power, and it was still good enough for them to get to a national championship. We have the worst offensive line as far as pass protection in the SEC. We ranked 106 in the nation when it came to quarterback pressures, and yet Bryce Young, under all that pressure, was still able to not only win a Heisman Trophy, but to help get that team to a national championship. With the lack of depth, with the lack of O-line depth we had, it was still good enough. So now that we have all these players coming back, we have potentially the best defense along with Georgia. I mean, who's to say that we're not going to go ahead and potentially get back there?
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's either going to be Bama Ohio State because the only reason I say Ohio State too because I'm looking at Ohio State quarterback like C.J. Stroud and then wide receiver. I forgot the wide receiver. It's hard to pronounce his name. He had broken the record in the Rose Bowl, but I do believe Ohio State defense going to be good too. So I would feel like in my opinion, the winner between Alabama and Ohio State probably be the greatest team of all time. I would feel like next season going to be a cakewalk with Bama. After what happened last season,
we already the favorite, man. We already the favorite by Vegas right now.
And let me say one thing, my guy. You want to say why I don't get my bad to interrupt you. You want to say why I don't get, bro? I don't get why does every single time I said for the past 10 years, 12 years, why does every single time Bama block a team throughout the regular season? They always say it's a cakewalk. But Army got the same exact schedule as Bama. And they all should have tough schedule. Even though Army played Georgia and Bama tough, back-to-back top-ranked team in the same in between 3 weeks, 2 out of 3 weeks. But my thing is though, just like you said, how the way Bama struggled. Now they want to say Bama got a tough schedule. Just imagine if Bama was stronger than Bama was stronger like how they were in 2018, 2019, 2020. Man, people would be complaining about that team that had a cakewalk, but now Bama struggling. It's not a cakewalk. I don't agree with that. It's the fact that Bama struggled. You know what I'm saying? Even if Bama did beat Georgia again, they still the worst team. They still would have been the worst team in the country.
People still talk about when we lost against Texas A&M last year. They act like we lost against 2 touchdowns. Man, we lost against a field goal.
It was our worst game. It was arguably worse than the Georgia game in the national championship because we made a lot. I mean, that's when everyone was healthy. Everyone was healthy. We had our 2 starters.
We blew that game up.
We didn't have a good game. We had a bad game, and it was still almost good enough to win.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
And then you remember that last play that Bama only got 1 yard. I'm like, what the hell happened? Bama only got 1 yard. They were like 4 for 9. I'm like, what?
I'm gonna be honest. We did not have near as good as the running backs we been had at Alabama. Brian Robinson, I see why he wasn't starting, when he first came, because he wasn't all that great. But he was big and he could power his way through. But he wasn't shifty. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't move that fast. I felt like he was slow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Jameer Gibbs, he ain't nothing like. I'm telling you, he way better than Brian Robinson ever thought about being, hands down. I'm telling you. when it comes to running back, man, Gibbs, he's gonna show out this year, man. I already see Gibbs running for at least 700-800 yards or more. I'm telling you.
Yep. And I think it's like looking at everything, despite everything that was going on. I do like it'll be Alabama, it'll be Georgia, it'll be Ohio State, and then that fourth team, we don't know who it's gonna be. It could be what Michigan's, it's always gonna be, it could potentially be that team that just comes out of nowhere and just all of a sudden becomes a power. But we all know for the SEC standards, it's Bama, it's Georgia, and then it's everyone else.
I'm not counting. Hey, I don't care. I'm not counting on Georgia to make it. I'm sorry. Their defense is trash.
Bama schedule usually a cakewalk. I mean, of course, Bama schedule usually. I'm not about reading this from Look. Of course, Bama usually schedule cakewalk. If you dominate, just like I said, I ain't telling y'all, but just like I said last season, the only reason why people ain't consider a cakewalk because Bama wasn't that good of a team. Let Bama turn that 2021 to a year ago team that people consider a cakewalk. I mean, the only thing you compare a cakewalk schedule is part of the SEC or the ACC with Clemson. But other than that, everybody had the same exact schedule. Just you face different teams. God damn it! Someone said Auburn. I'm mad at Auburn. I'm disappointed at Auburn. Them boys went 6-2 and ended up losing 5 straight games.
Man, let me tell you, Brian Harson's gonna be fired before the end of this season. Watch this. Brian Harson's gonna be fired.
Because man, I was so mad.
They ain't gonna win 5 games. I don't think they win 5.
Right. I think like M1, like M1. Like listen, Georgia's gonna be they're gonna be a power. Like Georgia and I truly do believe that it will be Georgia, Alabama, and I think it's everyone else. As far as like the LSU comment that like, we almost lost to LSU. We almost lost to Arkansas.
We almost lost to everybody, to be honest.
We had at least 5 games. Like if it wasn't for Will Anderson and Bryce Young, we could have easily been 7-5 or 8-4. Yeah, like we did not like that Bama team, and I kept making videos about it. That was not a good
team. We faced this SEC team in the West. We basically face Georgia every year. It's the fact Bama's a good team. The only reason why people say, "Oh, my bad," I'm reading another comment. The only reason why people say Auburn have a hard schedule, Auburn ain't that good a team how they used to be back in the day. You see what I'm saying? Yes, so like you got your team, and my team was all right, but your team dominated every year. Of course, they're gonna say it's a cakewalk schedule because you dominate the whole entire schedule. But if it's my team, they go like 9-3. We don't have a good offensive skill like that. Just imagine Auburn had an offense like Bama for the past 10 years. Oh my God! People.
Look at the Gus Malzahn. Look at the 2013 offense.
People would complain about that team. If Auburn had an offensive team, people would complain about Auburn had a cakewalk. They'll probably be like Clemson. You know how Clemson used to have a tough schedule once. I'm pretty sure everybody used to have a tough schedule once upon a time. But now Clemson dominated. Even though Clemson ain't had that good season last season, people talking about Clemson used to have a bad cakewalk. What's ACC ain't better than ACC? But now Clemson with 9-3, people want to complain about Clemson not being that good. What was that long time ago? When Clemson was blowing out everybody, even Bama.
Man, I feel like USC will make it before Georgia this year.
Oh yeah, USC got to make it. USC don't have. But I watched a video the other day.
I swear to God,
Lincoln Riley
might tear Georgia ass up. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm on Lincoln Riley, man. Think about it. How you gonna leave a conference that you literally make the playoff every year, won New Year's Six bowl game, and then Bob Stoops basically gave you that team? How the hell you gonna leave a conference? And then ain't no wrong with money. I understand money, but I'm talking about football. Like, bro, like you left a 12-2 winning team every year, but you go to USC. He got to make the playoff, at least the Rose Bowl. If this man don't make the playoff, I'm bashing him. I'm on him this season, man. He got to leave the 2. And like he said, he might lose against Bama or Ohio State. He probably gonna lose against Bama or Ohio State. But it's cool now because that's his first season. But that man can't go 9-3 or 7-5, 8-4. He can't do that. What was the point of going over there if he do it? You see what I'm saying? It won't make no sense. That's like me leaving. That's like me coaching Wisconsin, but I win 3 championships but lose 9. I basically go to 12 championship but lose 3. Which that's not bad. Well, it's bad, but that's not a bad record. But it's not that's good because at least you made it. But what was the point of me leaving to go to Vanderbilt? But I'd be 5-7. What was the point? You see what I'm saying? Oh, 75.
He
I'm
went
on Nick
there for the
Riley.
money. Like
Yeah,
let's be honest, let's be real. He went there for the money.
yeah,
He went there because of the brand name, and he went there
Man,
because he wanted to create his own legacy. I mean, Lincoln Riley in
Addison.
Oklahoma, he was always known to be in Bob's the successor to Bob Stoops. But he can never, even though he's a great coach, still be known as one of the best coaches in Oklahoma history. But but you're never ever going to live up to the expectations that was set by Bob Stoops because Bob Stoops brought that program back from the dead and he made it into a relevant college football contender. Lincoln Riley just carried on his legacy, and I think he did to separate that from himself.
Yeah, I do agree. That's no doubt. But at the end of the day, people still give respect. People gonna give some of his credit. He played with 2 Heisman winner and 1 Heisman runner up, Jalen Hurts. But I do agree. That's no doubt. He did play on the Bob Stoops. But you see what I'm saying about the USC? He got to go full control next season. He got to come on with it. Even if he do lose this Bama, he got to go full control at least for 5 years, man. He got to be a contender, man. Hey, I love USC.
I'm telling you. Like, we're this art situation right now.
You good, Pharaoh?
I'm telling you, he's going to either go to Texas or Ole Miss. Arch Manning, I'm going to tell you why he's not going to go to Georgia. Because Georgia don't know how to put a 5-star in the game to play. They put Stetson Bennett before the 5-star. But, hey, I give credit where credit's due. He did beat our handicapped team this year. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But you know what I'm saying? Whenever Alabama was healthy, though, just know Georgia got the dog shit beat out of them. That's all you need to know.
I think for Georgia, they're going to be in a very similar situation to how it was back in 2018, where for us, where our offense had to be the one to take care of things. Well, the defense has got to start rebuilding a little bit because no matter how much talent you got over there in Georgia, you're not going to be as good as you were in 2021. There's going to be a setback. There's going to be some new things, and they got talent. Georgia has a crap ton of talent on the defensive side of the ball, but I wouldn't be surprised at all that if at some point in the season, maybe not, it's not going to be every game, of course, but at some point in the season, they might struggle from a certain opponent on the, based off of the defensive side of the ball. They might struggle a little bit there.
Yeah,
but I think that offensively, they're going to be better than what they were last year because of those tight ends with Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers and Eric Gilbert playing out wide. They got star power on the offensive side of the ball, but it's interesting to see which games, could finally all of a sudden, maybe it's a Tennessee with Hendon Hooker in the offense that they said. Maybe it's us again in the SEC championship game. But I do think at some point there's going to be an opponent that could maybe a little bit expose that kind of, the Georgia defense a little bit where their offense is going to have to step up to the plate, take over.
But that Eric Gilbert guy, he's real slow. I seen that. I seen the highlights in their spring game, They scored. They're the Stetson Bennett's team let the other team score on Stetson's team just as much as they scored on them. So their defense wasn't playing good at all on one side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't have scored that many points, man. I know it's a spring game, but still, you're supposed to lock down on defense, man. I didn't see that defense doing. It's a difference between what they lost and what they got now. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a big difference because you got a lot of guys you gotta replace, and these guys ain't got experience. They're inexperienced. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna. I'm telling you, Stetson, he's gonna make a lot of mistakes this year, and we already know he's not going to NFL. So.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you though. I think their offense. I think their offense is gonna be a juggernaut. I think their offense because I think Kirby Smart knows that they have to step up. They can't rely on the defense. They can't do it. They can't not this year.
All right,
relying on the defense. They know that the offense has to step up, and I think Eric Gilbert is he's not the fastest player in the world, but he's strong as hell in the point of attack. He's great against press corners, especially with his size at 6'5", 250. He's an excellent route runner. Darnell Washington as your inline blocker. Brock Bowers is one of the best tight ends in the nation as an inline player or as a slot receiver that you can place him in there. And then you got with Mitchell and McConkey out there as your two reliable wideouts that you can place in the slot.
All right, Jan, I want to ask you something. You saying you think Georgia's offense is going to be way better? Okay, I want to know how you're saying that when Stetson can't throw the ball. Like you can't depend on him to throw the ball deep every time. I mean, he made a couple good throws in the national championship when it mattered. So what? That doesn't mean he's going to come out gunning the football every time.
Go ahead, Janice. My bad. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, Farrell, bro? How you doing, man?
Nothing much. Just reporting in with as a Bulldog fan.
Oh yeah, that's why we got to hear from you, man. Because I'm trying, listen, he, as much as we can clown on Stetson Bennett, he did complete over 70% of his throws on deep passes. Like they weren't Alabama as far as averaging 500, 600 yards per on the game, but they were an explosive offense as far as scoring touchdowns, as far as scoring.
I'm telling you, man, they're gonna throw 10 yards downfield to tight ends. I'm telling you.
And ain't nothing wrong with that because again, I mean, Brock Bowers is he's one of the best players in the nation as far as runs after the catch. Darnell Washington is 270 pounds, and he's a phenomenal inline blocker and receiver. And then Eric Gilbert out wide, that's where he makes his money on intermediate routes and in goal line situations.
Mm-hmm. My whole thing was that you definitely have a good take on that, and I've also you've heard me, Janice, with my cries with Stetson as far as people with the noodle arm and everything else, but it's not just the 10 yards he can just throw. Stetson can hit you with a 20 or 30 yard, but he does it every now and then. He's very good. His pass, other than Brock Bowers, he's had more throws with his completion with Ladd McConkey and A.D. Mitchell as well, as quiet as it's kept. So, I mean, that's what I was telling individuals. That was the difference between him and J.T. Daniels. See, J.T. Daniels was a player. He would have gotten into George Pickens and Jermaine Burton. His two boys. Them with his two boys. So it's like it was two different type of playing styles other than JT not being mobile, but that's just at the time. Now, I will be eager to see how it's going to work out because Carson Beck, I was shocked at his G-Day. He played very well.
He was great that game.
Man, I'm telling you, if you start Carson Beck, you'll have a better chance for the season. But if you start Stetson Bennett, you can man, no.
I think the same way as well. I mean, I would love to see Carson to take the helm of it because,
but Kirby's not gonna do it. Kirby's not gonna do it.
I know it ain't. I know it's not. And like me and Janice said, we thought really like Stetson, like this was like his going to the sunset time. Like my dude, the people doubted you. You did it. Like just go ahead and just go ride into the sunset as a Georgia legend. But so I guess we have to ride the season out. But yes, the offense is gonna have to take the brunt of that. Yeah, they're gonna.
He's starting Stetson Bennett. I have no doubt about that. Like it's just if Jalen Hurts would have won the national championship with Alabama, no matter how good Tua was, he was gonna start Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts he got the team to winning a national championship, but because he saw the limitations in that game of the national championship, Nick Saban knew he needed a quarterback that can push the ball through the air. He can't just rely on a quarterback that's raw with his quarterback mechanics and just rely on his legs and his heart to win.
Jalen, he was
you can win a bunch of games, but you weren't going to win a national championship. Now that Stetson Bennett was able to prove that he was able to, although again our team was not, we weren't the best, we weren't the healthiest, so was Georgia on that aspect, but they had a much longer time to develop chemistry. Unlike us, we had we barely had any time to develop that amount of chemistry. But the fact that Stetson Bennett was able to do it, now it just gives Kirby Smart the excuse of saying, "Oh well, there's no excuse now." I mean, why would I start Carson Beck over my national championship quarterback that started all season long, that was reliable, that was efficient enough, wasn't the best quarterback as far as statistics, and we all know he's not going to be a first round pick, but he's reliable. He's a Honda. He's a Honda Civic. And he's like, why would I try to go for the Ferrari where I could just have a reliable Civic that's, it's not going to break down that much.
Right. Excellent comparison. That's a definitely excellent comparison. And I just Kirby, he's just going to get hit with that the people told you so reality. I mean, it is what it is. If we take this year as a loss, it is. I mean, at least he'll be Stetson. We be gone after this year. So even though I'm like, I want to see Beck, I want to see Brock. I want to see him, but I'm not gonna lie. I like Gunnar Stockton more. I'm sorry. He that's I think that's going to end up being Gunner's team at some point in the future, though. Um, so
But
it
but
just
if Arch Manning coming to Georgia, you gonna like him just
and that's the thing, man. And I'm like, oh man, this is
I'm telling you, it's
this
gonna
is
be
interesting, man.
it's gonna be hard to pull him from Ole Miss or Texas though. That's the thing. Because
Yeah, you're right.
he's really looking at Texas, and Texas is supposed to be the favorite right now for him. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't
Tyree.
know.
The reason why we're
He
giving
ends up.
I don't think he's gonna commit none of it. I doubt maybe the end of this year, but I don't think he's gonna commit no time soon. I don't think he's gonna commit.
Yeah, it's kind of like, why would you though? You could just take your time. Like, take your time, enjoy the recruiting process. Like, go through all these visits. Like, you don't. I mean, he's gonna be one of those dudes. I think he's going to commit maybe early signing period or maybe even February.
I would just say the name that carries him is, you know, he's a Manning. Okay, I understand, but let's look at it like this. I understand, you know. Yeah, I heard he threw for 70 touchdowns at his high school. Is that correct? Well, that doesn't mean he's going to throw like that in college. And it doesn't mean he's going to be what you think he is at the high school. I promise you, because high school and college is two different ball games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he could be a bust. You know what I'm saying? He could be a straight bust. I'm telling you, for whoever gets him, he could be a bust. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, Eli Holstein should be. I think he should be a 5-star, just like Arch Manning, because even though like Arch Manning, he does have a nice, awesome throw. I mean, he can really rip the ball down the field. But I'm telling you, Eli, if you go look at Eli Holstein, bro, he can do it too. I'm telling you, Eli Holstein. That's why I think Alabama did good by taking Eli Holstein, because I feel like Eli Holstein, man, he is at the Elite 11. He was awesome, man.
Well, it's a safer pick too, as well, because you don't have to keep dealing with, you know, with the family coming into it as well. That's all that aspect with the Manning.
That's the problem. That's the problem that people saying, like the fan bases are saying. They're like, Manning, that name is gonna come with a lot of bullshit. Like people, that name is gonna carry itself. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of talk about this and that every year. You know, about Arch Manning maybe transferring or something. You know, it may be a lot of junk come up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, y'all already just been through a lot, especially dealing with that wideout. I was like with a Guy Hall. I was like, Guy Hall he's not a player that should have never been to Alabama.
He's a crybaby. He can't catch the football. He is trash.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he even started for. I'm glad he did start for Alabama.
I said that as a Georgia fan. I was like, man, you acting like this. I was like, man, you just lucky you didn't come in the air when the prime Nick Saban back in the early 2010s. Like, you really got your head chewed off, bro.
Right.
Like,
as
literally.
a Georgia fan, as you being a Georgia fan, you know, even though y'all pressure Bryce Young, he was still putting that ball in their hands. No better than anybody else could. I'm telling you, that ball placement was so beautiful, so many times. And a guy Hall, he dropped the ball, I think twice, at least 2 or 3 times for a touchdown.
Yeah. About 4 times.
Oh my God,
about 4.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude couldn't catch the football at all. I think he caught one he juked the defender on Georgia, and he went down the sideline, and he still got caught because he ain't fast as nothing.
Yeah, because Trayvon Walker came and chased him down.
I'm like, man, let the defense chase you down. You supposed to be a receiver. What?
275. That's why I was telling people, they was like at the Columbine, they was like, wait, Trayvon Walker running fast. It's like receiver. I was like, man, if y'all did not watch that national championship when a guy y'all caught that, that was the most underrated play that I bet you people missed. I was like, that play showed it.
Because Hall would have. I'm not gonna lie. If that was anybody else, Hall would have been gone.
Yeah.
Like Hall has legit 4.4 speed, but because you have this freak ass. I mean, Georgia has a bunch of freaks on that defense, but it's like if that was against any other team on that pass, he was gone.
I ain't gonna lie, Trayvon. He was trying to kill Bryce Young back there, but Bryce Young, he was throwing that ball out of his hand as quick as he could.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. That's what I didn't like about Bryce Young. He stayed. He stalls to throw the ball sometimes.
Yeah, he never take let
the ball go. You know what I'm saying?
He goes through his first two reads, and as soon as they're not there, he doesn't try to go through like more of his progressions because the route it's already done. Like the routes have already been developed. The defense can see what you're doing, and at that point, you're just waiting to see if these receivers can break away from the routes and try to create an opportunity instead of there's an open lane right in front of you. There's 7-8 yards. Take off and run and try to get the first down, or throw the ball away and try to live for another down. But the more he holds that ball, he risks injury. And then when he throws, he can he's flat-footed at times, so he doesn't really reset his feet. Like Bryce Young has a lot of faults that he has a lot of tendencies that you can if you watch high school sports and you follow his recruitment, he was doing that at Mater Dei. So a lot of those same tendencies he brings over to Bama. And I mean, granted, it can work at times and it makes him look like a genius, but other times when you're going against better defenses that can set the coverages straight,
he expects to have he expects our O-line to hold him so he can throw the ball. And our O-line is not good right now. It damn sure wasn't good in the national championship because they were all on him. Like, where's our offensive line doing? I mean, come on, man. Y'all got to do better than that. And that's why I hope our offensive line has, it can be better, man, because God dang, like what?
And I don't know if it can. I mean, it's like if we weren't, I mean, people don't understand. We were ranked last in the SEC as far as quarterbacks sacked. We were 106 in the nation as far as allowing the most pressure to our quarterbacks, and that was with Evan Neal. So now that he's gone, it's like that's why I'm so concerned about this. I mean, even with our new offensive line coach, I'm just so concerned. Because if we couldn't even get the best out of our players with an NFL proven coach in Doug Marrone, it's like I'm like, am I supposed to be convinced that all of a sudden we're just going to flip around with this offensive line and it's going to be that much better, especially with the losses of Evan Neal and losing Chris Owens, who was our center, who had to play right tackle because we had no one else that can fill in the shoes.
Yeah, but I'm dependent, and I'm very high on our new receivers that we got. Like Tyler Harrell, he's gonna be absolute Jameson Williams. I'm telling you, he's gonna be he is faster than Jameson Williams, and he's gonna really show out at Alabama. I believe that. But Jamar Gibbs, what's his name's healthy too. Our other running back, Jace is coming back. They said they're looking for Jace to have a good season too, but I'm not really worried. I'm just worried about the O-line. If we get the O-line fixed, then Bryce Young can rip teams apart, man. Like I mean, what the hell happened? I mean, from the SEC championship till the national championship. Why didn't the O-line hold like they hold it in the SEC championship? That's what I want to know, because that pressure that was in the national championship was not in the SEC championship. That's what I don't get. Like how did we go from 1 week to having a good O-line and the same O-line as we had, for the SEC championship? How do you? I mean, I don't get it, man. I feel like I don't know. I'm not gonna say
a lot of our quick routes and underneath routes were just developing. I mean, we had two receivers that understood how they understood how to get open in quick intermediate situations. They understood it. They understood exactly what the defense was giving you, and they knew exactly the type of route that they were supposed to run. Because I'm not like, I went back and watched the SEC championship and the national championship. Georgia was doing this literally the same thing that they were doing. They knew that this could work. the problem was that we just didn't have the receivers that could develop those routes, that can develop those patterns and understand how to get
every
open
play
and
they
intermediate routes that we
every
could do.
play they blitzed us. Every single play they blitzed.
No, yeah, they took fully advantage of it. They took fully advantage of it, man. I mean, you saw the speed, the athleticism, the power, the strength.
I mean, they were really trying to knock Bryce Young's fucking head
confidence
off.
in that game.
They was trying to kill Bryce Young back there, but I'm telling you, even under pressure, this man still put the ball in their hands, and they could not come up with the catch. That's what I can't get in my head. Like, why, man? Like, why you can't catch the ball? You practice all the time. Come on, man, catch the freaking ball. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science out there, man. I'm telling you. Like, I understand, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. You know, you're in a national championship. Oh, it's thousands and thousands of fans out there screaming and hollering. But, man, put your mind in the game, man, and catch the football. That's all I want them to do, man. Like that JoJo Earl guy, he was dropping passes in the doggone spring game. I hope he don't start.
Oh,
JoJo
really?
Earl?
Wow.
Yeah, he couldn't get it going. He was not that good in that game.
Dude, he was freaking horrible. He caught, I say he caught one pass for like a good 10, 15 yards. I think one was 25 that Bryce Young threw to him. But I'm telling you, man, he's another guy that his head's not right. Mentally, he's not in the game. It just looked like he's just out there to just be out there. And that's not what we want at Alabama. And that's not what Nick Saban wants, because in all, I'm telling you, Nick Saban, he was really upset when these guys couldn't catch the football. Like, after the game, Bryce Young was upset, and Will Anderson, everybody was just, hurt, because, like, Alabama has never did this in a national championship where they dropped so many drop passes. You don't hear that from Alabama. Come on, man.
And this
our 2020 team, man, they count the ball and didn't drop one damn pass. And we beat the hell out of Ohio State, 52 to what, 20?
24.
23, 24, yeah.
I mean, we man, that team.
I'm glad y'all did it. That's them two schools I don't fuck with, Texas, Ohio State. Boy, I laugh like hell when y'all did it to them like that.
Well, you gonna laugh when we beat the hell out of them Texas this year.
Oh yeah. What time is that game? Did they give y'all? I know that's week 2.
It was supposed to be a new game. They changed it
to a night game, ain't it?
Oh, it is.
It was. They changed it. It was supposed to be a night game. Now I think they changed it to a noon game.
No,
and I think that's the debate.
Wow, they would do that shit.
Yeah,
man, I love the night game, especially in Texas, bro. That look good, yeah. But I'm telling you, either way it go, it don't matter if it's night or what. And I got a question. Is Ajay Hall off the team? Has anybody heard?
No. So what happened with Ajay is that he was never enrolled. He was never enrolled until the summer. I think he's now beginning his the process to enroll. So he should be there by the summer. I think that was kind of missing.
Well, all that shit he's talking about Nick Saban and that and Alabama not loving him. Man, that's crybaby shit. That's kindergarten shit. Man, get on the field and show me what you can do with Alabama. That's what I want you to do. You're not on the team no more, bro. Get out there and catch the ball. And I guarantee you he's going to drop the ball just like he did for us. Watch. He a joke. He a joke, man.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, let me ask you a question before I'll probably hop out of here because I got to do some other things.
All right.
I want y'all playoff predictions, man, because I ain't going to lie to you, man. I got early playoff predictions. I got Bama. I got Ohio. I got Georgia. I think because I got Georgia because I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't see anybody else in college football that can keep up with Bama and Georgia. I just don't. I think despite everything that we're saying about Georgia's defense, I'm telling you, their offense. No matter how I feel about Stetson Bennett, he is efficient as all hell. And if it doesn't work with Stetson Bennett, Kirby Smart's not afraid to change.
Man, Kirby Smart, he's the best defensive coordinator there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not gonna doubt the defense. But I'm gonna doubt Stetson Bennett. I just don't think he's that guy, man. I mean, even though he came up big in the championship,
they don't have to rely on the pass though. Even if it doesn't work out for them, They got the offensive line, they got the running game, and they got the skill position players on the outside. They can win in multitude of ways. They can rely on their defense, offense, or special teams. I mean, Georgia is like us. They are a complete unit. I think it's Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, and then I don't even include Ohio State because their defense is to get right. I think it's Bama, Georgia, and I think it's everyone else. So I got Bama, Georgia. I'll throw in Ohio State because I think Michigan. I think everyone else in the Big Ten is going to have a setback. And the fourth team, I'm
going with USC on the fourth.
Really? You gonna go with USC?
And
I think got some ranking coming in this year.
I'm gonna have to. I think USC is gonna be real good this year, man.
Mark.
I think USC might shock the world. I'm telling you, because they just got Jordan Addison. They got Caleb Williams. They can really throw. They got a good they got good tight ends over there, man. They got some dudes now. Let's don't underestimate USC now. I got them at 4.
Coming in, it depends on what they're ranking in coming in this season. That they can jump up into the
Georgia,
playoffs.
Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma.
To me,
Oklahoma gonna take a step back. I know that for sure, especially with Brent Venables being his first year.
He got to be a Bama hater to say that. This man said Georgia, Oklahoma. Man, Oklahoma ain't gonna do a damn thing if you think that, buddy. And Texas A&M ain't gonna do shit neither. So you might as well place Oklahoma for Alabama, and you might as well place Texas A&M for USC, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you got it all twisted.
To me, like I said earlier, I believe it's gonna be Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, but they probably will put Georgia in. Definitely USC. I'm on Lincoln Riley, man. I understand for the money, but he still left Oklahoma.
Me too.
He left Oklahoma. He left a great program. I'm always at that season. He got him at the playoff. Even if he do lose, he got him at the playoff. So I got USC making it. Definitely USC.
I don't care if he lose or not. If he make it, I'll be like, I told y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
Yeah. I had Lincoln Riley making. I got Lincoln Riley making the postseason with USC. He's a great coach, but
I think he's in
just like Jay said. He don't want to live on the bar shadow, but still though, you got to make the team go 12-2. It's like you did Oklahoma, not 9-3, not 8-4, 12-2. You see what I'm saying? Have a great resume in that first season.
I'm telling man, USC. They go. I'm telling you, I watched USC J30 on YouTube. Y'all know USC J. Look him up if y'all don't know him. USC J. He's on Instagram, all that. But I watch his channel because Kangaroo Black told me to go and check his channel out, and I went over there and checked it out. Man, he's got a great channel going. He's really cool, and I told him, man, I said, I believe your team gonna do something this year, man. I believe y'all. He said, well, we got new coaches, we got a lot of new players, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, I think Cal's gonna come up this year, Southern Cal. I think they might come up big. I'll put them before Oklahoma any day. I'm not putting Oklahoma.
Georgia, Bama, Oklahoma.
I
can see Oklahoma doing something. I think with Brett, I can see Oklahoma doing something, man. With Brett Venables and their defense is getting. I think their defense can get better. I think offensively, I think offensively with Levi there, I think the foundation can be there. And I don't know. I mean, Dave Aranda and Baylor is going to be there, but they're going to lose a lot of pieces. Oklahoma State's going to lose a lot of pieces.
I can vouch for that one. I'll let. He said. UGA, Bama, USC, and OU. We could take that one. GSA. We'll take that one. But
yeah, that seemed more doable. Yeah, that seemed more doable.
I think the question with USC is that yes, you have all these transfers that are coming in, but it's always continuity and chemistry. Like that matters, man. When it comes to a team,
man.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I got a question.
A couple times.
How is this, man? He said Oklahoma in 3 steps ahead of USC. Can we stop it? No, man. I'm telling you, Oklahoma is gonna drop. They not gonna win. They not even gonna win 8 games this year. I don't see them winning 8 games. I'm telling
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't see them winning 8 games, man. I don't see it.
It's
I think
possibly
that's
that they
overreaction.
can. I think they possibly can. I think they can get about 9 in there, even with Brett Venables' first year. I think he can slide to 9, 9 and
9 or
10.
10 games that's my expectation because like they did lose a lot of pieces, but so did everyone else in the Big 12. I don't think. Who's going to step up for them? Texas is let's be honest. Texas is a disappointment. No matter how many
With a
star players they
brand new
get in their coach, they're just a
I
big
don't know,
disappointment
man.
every year.
With a coach, with a brand new guy that came from what was he, the defensive or offensive coordinator? I can't remember. But I
Defensive.
know. Yeah, well, see, he's never been a head coach. He's not, he never ran an offense or none of that, man. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, he doesn't
I
have
ain't
to.
gonna.
He's got Jeff. He got Jeff Levi. He's got
Jeff
the
Levy.
offensive
Yeah,
Yeah,
coordinator from
but
Ole Miss, one of the best runs.
yeah.
I still don't think he's gonna be a good head coach at Oklahoma. I don't. Maybe I'm speaking.
Like I said, it's fair because like he's never been in that position. But
Yeah.
Mario Cristobal, it was his first time in the position. He took Oregon to the Pac-12 championship when they won it. You look at Lane Kiffin, what he was able to do at Ole Miss. Took him a couple years for him to
Yeah,
kind of get going
yeah.
there.
You're right about that, Janice.
Bama not
Kirby
beating
Smart what
Georgia
he
in
did
SEC
with
title
Georgia.
game, and Bama having 2 losses. All right, if we're not beating Georgia, who is our second loss to?
I think it's the A&M.
We're gonna lose to A&M again at our hometown. That ain't gonna happen in
That's gonna be
T-Town, buddy. That
that's gonna
damn
be
sure ain't gonna
I
happen.
say,
boy.
I can expect his appeal of Bama being Georgia. Georgia beating Bama this year again. But I don't see Texas being Bama. I don't see Texas being Bama. But I can see Georgia being Bama again. But I I mean, all him a snitch on it. I think Nick Saban may got him on number, man. To be real with you.
Man, I'm telling you,
That's my opinion. I think he got him on number.
I don't think we're gonna lose this year. Be honest, I don't think we're gonna lose. I think
if there's anybody that can beat Bama, it's Georgia. That's the only. I think that's the only team. I think Georgia. I think LSU has a chance to do it because playing at Death Valley, that's always tough. It's a full crowd, 100,000 people. Their team is extremely talented. They got a proven head coach and Brian Kelly, who's good. So I think if there's any teams that could potentially get us, I think it's LSU. Maybe Tennessee because that's a rivalry game, and we've been dominating Tennessee for over damn near 12 years. And I also like the direction that they're going in, man. I like the quarterback situation. They're a little bit of a juggernaut.
Yeah,
but I think those are possibly the two teams that could. I think if there's one team in that conference that could definitely beat us, it's Georgia. That's the only team, in my opinion, that can get us.
I mean, they're the only team that's proven they can beat us for now. So,
their talent.
I agree with that, but I just don't think it's going to happen this year. I don't think they beat us two times in a row. I mean, back to back. I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. I really don't. I just think, I think we steamrolled the season, and I got big confidence in Alabama this year. I didn't really have a lot of confidence last year, but I'm going to say I do have a lot of confidence in this team this year and probably 2023 season too, because now we got Eli Holstein and we still got Ty Simpson, Jalen Milroe.
I think Jalen Milroe is going to start next year.
Yeah. I think Milroe will start before Simpson because Milroe's been there longer anyway. But I think Milroe, he could be dangerous, man. I'm telling you, this guy could be a really elite quarterback if he wants to. And I think he has a good arm, but sometimes he doesn't throw, like accurate throws sometimes. Like I seen like when the spring game. I watched the whole spring game. I was like, I seen that one where he to Christian Leary he made for that touchdown pass, but the guy was like, he wouldn't have did. I don't think that would have been a touchdown if it was a real game, So I don't know. I mean, I still think Miro can run now. I give him that. He can run. And he's got the moves. So yeah, I think Miro could have easily, start next year. Most definitely. But I'm just looking forward to, seeing the offensive line this year, improvement, and I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good this year. I got big hopes.
Yep.
I got big hopes for our team.
Yep.
Sure.
All right, fellas, that's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm about to hop out of here. Got some other things to do, man. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Hey,
I'm about stopping by, brother.
All right, Jan.
Hey, I'm gonna see you around, my boy. Be safe. Nice speaking to you.
All right.
When you gonna start doing this podcast again?
Well, Tuesdays. Well, like I said, Tuesdays 7:00 p.m. Me and my boy Kyrie, we're gonna be doing our live stream. I'm gonna bring the live on this channel and on the other channels, stuff like that. So we'll be doing lives every Tuesday 7:00 p.m. And like I said, occasionally I will be doing these live streams a little bit more because it's summer. I got summer for the most part, so I'll be doing more of these lives.
Yeah, let me know something, man. I did my YouTube a couple months ago, but I'm gonna start being a little serious since I'm here, and then we can start a little stream y'all to get one day.
Oh yeah.
But like, nice speaking to you about football, man. Good
nice meeting you, bro.
Nice meeting you, bro.
Yeah. And gents,
I still got better winning it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about I still don't know. I'm gonna say this. I still don't know about Texas A&M, but Georgia. I won't mind Georgia at Ohio State. I don't know about Texas A&M though. If they do lose 2 games, I think it'll be Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State. I don't see Texas A&M. That's just my opinion. But yeah, hey, you never know.
Texas A&M been an 8-4.
Bama State gonna be
Texas A&M been an 8-4 team and a 9-what team for the last couple of years. So,
all right, man, y'all be safe out there, man.
They always lose
all right, man.
games, so. But all right,
Gents, man,
roll tide, man. I'm out of here.
All right, Brock. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the live stream, man. Great talking with the usual suspects. Again, for the most part, for those who are wondering when we're going to start doing more lives in this channel, Tuesday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6:00 Central Time. That is when I'm going to be doing the live streams. So yeah, come join us. Buffalo Fan Base Sports. We talk sports, whether if it's college football, recruiting, high school sports. As far as basketball talk goes, because we got playoffs going on, so we'll talk about that. NFL talk, of course. So yeah, check us out, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:00 Central Time. If you're in the Pacific West Coast, 4:00 over there. And then, like I said, occasionally, just us and just talking with the viewers. I'm going to start doing way more of these live streams, especially because it's the summertime. A lot of college football talk. Everything's getting hot, and I just can't wait for you to do that. I'm going to be doing the college football previews. I'm actually done with the Texas and Oklahoma videos. I just have to upload them up, and because those are really, those are like literally 25, 30-minute videos, and I had to try to reduce those times a little bit more. But we'll get those videos out as soon as possible so that you guys can enjoy some of our college football previews because it's about that time. So thank you guys so much for stopping by the live stream. This is Jan Sports, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.